day-to-day job, I'm an animal welfare officer for a local authority, so I do have my own pound and own kennels for dogs. It's basically my day-to-day routine is getting up, sorting out all the animals here, catching up on my emails, which I have to do twice a day, then to work for a full day, which is basically animal welfare visits, dealing with stray dogs, stuff like that. Come home, it starts again. There's often pickups and transport runs for animals coming in, obviously ongoing treatment on animals that are here. New Hope is basically run from here, and my kennels, which is really my second base for the animal. So it sort of darts between here and there. And it's pretty hectic most of the time, phones ringing all the time. Animals, obviously, multiple animals is multiple work. Always more calls to take, more dogs to take in, more cats to take in, etc. So it's busy.
Do you mind bringing your work home with you, or does that just seem natural?
It is normal day-to-day life, but I mean, probably because of that, like normal things you have to do, it can be taxing. It's a stress having to fit in another animal, do an extra dog walk. So you might have plans for an evening, or decide you're going to have a night off, and then before you know it, you're spending hours on the dog you've just picked up, like bathing it, clipping it out, treating it, taking it to the vets, whatever it might be. I can rarely finally sit down and have a dinner and my door will knock and it'll be a local resident with a manky cat in a box that they found, and then everything's turned upside down. You have to rearrange everything you've already arranged, which is why you're late and why you forget to tell people, and why you end up being a bit of a letdown really in the long run, both professionally and personally. And shut that washing machine up, press pause. My home is basically like a sanctuary. We've got a lot of residents that stay here permanently because they've got health issues or temperament issues, or they need ongoing work. And there's a lot of animals that come here for short periods of time and get fixed, get better, wait for homes, have been on death row. So we take them out of danger until they find their space. So everything here is here for a reason. Most of the animals here were on death row, or were in situations where they'd end up in a dead or worse, to be honest.
So what does a death row dog mean?
Death row dog is basically, they're called death row dogs in the trade really, people that rescue, and it's the same as death row people. They're dogs waiting to die. They're on a time limit, they're given a date. Some pounds are better than others, seen as better than others. They might give 2 weeks, some give 7 days, some give more. It's rare, but they do. But they're dogs with a time scale, and at the end of that time scale is a freezer, which ain't a good place, which is not a fair place for any, or a fair way for any life to end in a bright room with a stranger and a needle and no respect. One ball a year ago in terrible condition intercepted her going into a death row pound, so she came home with me instead. She was in a really bad state. Her skin was red raw, hot, and she'd itched herself, all her hair away, and a lot of her primary layer of skin away. So obviously it took a lot of work, a lot of treatment and a lot of socialisation, but a year down the line this is her in her new home, and it just highlights that with a bit of time and a bit of work, even the dogs in the worst of states, frightened conditions, can turn out like her basically, which is a happy, friendly, nice little dog. So yeah. A lot of people ask you why you bother, and what's the point of saving one when 10 round the corner are probably dying. And there's a story that I often tell, which sort of sums it up, and it's about a young lad on a beach, and there's hundreds, thousands of starfish washed up, and he's picking them up one by one and chucking them back in, and someone walks up to him and asks him, what's the point in saving these few when all these other thousands are going to die? And he basically says that everyone that he picks up and chucks back in, that's a life saved and a life back to where it should be. And that's how I view it. I know I can't save the world, I know I can't save every dog, but everyone I do, that's one entire life, and that animal's whole world sorted. So that to me sums up why you help what you help and accept, as hard as it might be, what you can't.